Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the call that I've entitled Don't Be Part of the Wish I Had Club. It's a very strange title for a call, isn't it? A lot of people are scratching their heads saying, what does that even mean? Part of the Wish I Had Club. But so I'm going to explain it to you just very briefly. That's when you miss out on something, right? It's when you maybe hesitate on something. You might say something sounds too good to be true, and that's a big mistake, by the way. You might sit back, be one to say, well, I'm gonna wait and see how it goes for everybody else. I'm gonna see if anybody else makes money. I'm gonna see if anybody else does it. That's a big mistake. You and maybe someone you love, your family, whatever, somebody in your life at some point has said, man, I wish I'd done that. Man, I wish I'd jumped on board. Man, I wish I'd heard more. I wish I'd done more. I wish I'd purchased that. Everybody on the planet at some point has been part of the Wish I Had Club. And so I'm going to, try to get you tonight to look at life, look at business, look at a really super opportunity, with a different set of eyes. So there really is such a thing as being in the right place at the right time. So no matter what you decide to do with what I'm going to share with you, obviously I would love to share what I'm doing and have you just get on board and be excited. But no matter what I'm going to share with you is going to be beneficial to you in your journey. So bear with me. It doesn't matter what you're looking for. Everybody's looking for something, right? Some people are looking for a replacement income. Some people with the COVID, their income has been reduced, or some have been laid off, or whatever. I read a report here recently about how 30% of the people working from home, the professionals, are saying we're not going back to the office, so we'll quit first, right? So some people are looking for a replacement income. Some people are just looking for a new career. You want to start over, you want to do over, you want something exciting in your life, right? Some people are looking to be part of a crusade, something meaningful, something to sink their teeth in, to feel good about. Some people are looking for a way to make very serious income working from home. A lot of people will ask me over the years, can you really make money working from home? Well, you can sometimes, right? And so some people are looking for that. Some people are looking for a chance, to make a massive difference in the lives of other people and or massive money while they're at it. So you've come to the right place. No matter what you're looking for, and no matter whether this is what you're looking for, you've come to the right place. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to take just 30 minutes of your evening. I appreciate every minute. It's only going to take 30 minutes for me to share with you everything I want to share with you tonight. And hopefully it's going to be a game changer for you. So just stick with me, bear with me, right? I don't know most of you, and most of you don't know me. And so I always think it's a good idea when you're trying to deliver a message like this, at least you kind of set a platform, if you will, so people can see where you're coming from. So we'll give you just a little snapshot of my background. My first career, I was in corporate. I was a six-figure earner in my 20s. That was unbelievable. I was very aggressive, very driven young woman, working it like a maniac. But the bottom line is I was also traveling like a maniac. I was one of those people with two suitcases. One was loaded and ready to go, and one was going to the dry cleaners, and I was constantly swapping. And I found myself, with four kids, a marriage that crumbled, and I was caring for the four kids and two elderly parents financially, right? So I had to do something. I made a decision, and that money wasn't worth it. If I wanted a decent bunch of human beings at the end of the day, I needed to do something. So I left my job, and I traded that money for time. I said, I need freedom more than I need anything else. And I kind of looked at it maybe somewhat in an innocent way. And I just thought, well, shoot, if I'm worth six figures to that company, certainly I've got to be worth six figures to me. And so it's just kind of the way I looked at it. I didn't have fear with it. I just knew I needed to do what I needed to do. So I started career number two, and I started all over, right? I was self-employed. I fell into the real estate auction business. That's a great story for another time, but I didn't set out determined and decide that's what I was going to do. It just kind of happened. And the Lord shined on my business. I'm going to tell you, I settled 5,000 properties in my 18 years in that world. It was the most amazing time. But more than anything, more than the money, I had that freedom, to be able to be there. I could count on one hand the times I missed something the kids were doing. And that meant even a baseball practice. I was at everything because I had control of my life. So when the real estate bubble burst, my world changed dramatically. Okay. And it wasn't like the average real estate agent where, my business fell apart. I mean, I'm in the auction business. So we were busier than forever. I mean, it just went crazy, right? But the work was so grueling. It was so difficult. You know, it was of short sales and foreclosures and bankruptcies. I'd never done that stuff before, and I didn't like it. And I didn't like trying to deal with the banks and getting them to let off of deposits and all kinds of stuff, right? And more than that, though, I do have a compassionate heart. I had a lot of, turmoil in my childhood, and I did not like dealing with that side of life. It was heartbreaking. So here I am again. You know, I am now a card carrying member of the AARP, and I'm starting life all over again. So I needed to start over with a different set of eyes. I didn't want to just fall into something. And I definitely didn't want to start a whole business, from the ground up. I knew that I didn't want to do that. But, I knew I needed to strategically plan something. And so I went looking for something. And that may be where you are now. And I'm going to try to encourage you to look at it in a different way, kind of the way I did. First thing I did is I have a couple of clients that became very good friends. These are very, very wealthy people. Okay. One guy, self-made real estate guy, at the time, I don't know today, but at the time was worth about $100 million. And another guy at the time was worth about $12 billion. How do I know that? Because I was working with them to buy big deals. I knew their finances, right? And they both started with nothing. They were not silver spoon people. They started with nothing. They built real estate empires. And so when the market was doing this, and I'm trying to figure out, what do I want to do? Where am I going to go? I went to each one individually. And I said, hey, look, you made your fortune in real estate. And well, what if you were entering the world today and real estate, the market is what it is today. What would you do? I was really looking for them to tell me, give me an idea of something else to do in real estate, right? And they both, what I received was a game changer advice. Don't ever forget this advice, no matter what you do with your future, right? It was something I never thought of before. And frankly, it was wealth mentality. That's what they were talking to me about, but I had never heard this before. And I learned that they said, it doesn't matter what you already know how to do. It doesn't matter if you spent, 18 years real estate. That doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter, necessarily come down to what you like to do. And that's a mistake so many people make, is they look at something and say, I really like that. That kind of feels good. And you don't build an empire or build a business, with those things. So what they said was, it really comes down to finding a need and filling it. And then lather, rinse, repeat. You just find something people need. And so at the time when they each started out, it was real estate, needed housing, they did commercial, they did residential, they just kept filling that need over and over and over and over again. And that's how they built their empire. And they went on to say, don't worry about it, because, when you find a need and you start filling it and you fill it over and over and over, you start building serious income. And when you get the wealth, you like it a lot. And so it's a very different way of looking at things, where a lot of people get into a business and say, it really feels good, I like this. But don't mistake or pay attention to one thing. Finding a need and filling it, that's a very different thing than finding what people want and trying to sell them. Okay. You're trying to find a need. And when you have a need, not just a want, but a need, then it's much easier to fill that thing. When they started out, there was a need for housing, a need for commercial. You see what I mean? It wasn't just a want. It wasn't a luxury thing. It's a need. So we need to find a need and fill it, and then lather, rinse, repeat. And that's how we're going to find our real success. So I stopped there. So the next step was, I thought, well, I'm not going to start my own business from the scratch up. So I want to find a company that I can align with. And so I came up with a wish list. It's pretty bold, isn't it? Well, you might learn something from the wish list. I hope you have a wish list. If not, you should have a wish list. And so I put together a wish list of things that I would want, from the company that I would decide to align with. Well, one thing was, I did not want a startup. Never, ever, ever. I don't care if there's a lot of opportunity there. Most startups don't make it. And at that stage of the game, I did not want to, hang my hat with a company that may or may not be there in 2 or 3 years. I did not want a startup. But at the same time, I didn't want to join anything that was already saturated. I wanted the excitement of momentum, and I wanted to build, the income I was used to. I wanted a solid reputation. I mean, I was very proud of the work I did. I was very proud of the brokers I represented, very solid, reputable, people of integrity. So I wanted that same thing. I don't want to align with, people I couldn't get close to, or I didn't know anything about, or that didn't have good character. So I want a solid reputation. I wanted systems already developed. I did not want to go in. Again, it's a lot of work building from the ground up. And I did not want to be, get with the company and say, oh, I got to, come up with all this stuff because they don't have it, or no systems to get. I wanted to hit the ground running. And it meant that they needed to already have systems developed. I wanted a broad market. I was pretty spoiled, in my world of the auctions. I was at one point, I had 23 state licenses. I did not want to just work my little neighborhood. I wanted a broad market. I wanted something most consumers want or need, and they already knew it. So, once I learned about the find a need and fill it, I don't want to go convincing people, hey, look at this and try to convince them that they need it, or try to rely on their wants. I wanted something that most consumers would want and need, and they already knew it, right? I did not want to office and overhead. Been there, done that, never want that noose around my neck again. So it needed to be free rolling. I definitely wanted to work with something in the 21st century. Okay. So I wanted the technology feel and, stuff. And I wanted it to be social media driven because I do a lot online that way. So I wanted something that it would make sense to do online. Definitely wanted something USA. Okay. Comes down patriotic. I'm as, I often say, you cut me, I bleed red, white, and blue, or we're a military family. So I really wanted something USA. I didn't want to deal with something offshore. I wanted something, and this is the fluffy part, okay, but I wanted something meaningful. I wanted a good purpose. I wanted to feel like I was making a difference, right? When in real estate, all those transactions, I made a ton of money. I had people swap a bunch of money, but all I changed was their address. I didn't make a difference. I wanted something where I could feel like I was making a difference in people's lives. I know that's fluffy, but it was on my list. And then I wanted sound financial, compensation plan. I don't want to guess. I don't want to negotiate. I was used to real estate. Here's what I get paid. Boom. I didn't want all these weird configurations of how do you make money. I wanted to be clear, financial plan, compensation plan. And I wanted the opportunity to duplicate. See, one of the things I did to myself, big mistake in my auction business, was I oversold myself. So it was not easy to duplicate and have the team I really wanted. Did a little bit of it, but I could have done a lot more had I not handle my business away. So I wanted to be able to duplicate. I hung my license for a little bit with Keller Williams. I like that opportunity, to bring other agents in to make a little money on their money, to duplicate, if you will. So I wanted that. That's my wish list. That's pretty big wish list. I'm surprised it didn't come up to more, but that's a pretty solid, pretty brazen wish list when you look at it, but I didn't know where I was going to go. And so I really thought, I really need to strategize this and figure out what makes sense. And I hope you do the same thing. So look what I came up with. I actually got more from my wish list. So some people say, be careful what you wish for. I actually got it above and beyond my wish list. So I said, I don't want to start up, but I don't want a saturated market. What I found was a 16-year-old company that did a relaunch. So, now I'll go into that in a minute, but they're 16 years old and did a relaunch to advance their technology. And that was just a year ago in October. So it's solid. It's been there for a while, right? But it's just now a lot of momentum's coming and saturation. I don't know when that'll happen, a long time. And then a solid reputation. I wanted to be proud of who I was representing. I wanted them to be proud of me, right? And this company is a recipient of the Ernst & Young Regional Award for Entrepreneur of the Year. Now, I don't know if you know Ernst & Young, but it's a leading accounting firm of the year. It's an amazing honor to get that award. They scrutinize everything. It's not a fluffy award. I mean, they definitely earned the award. It's the award that companies like Starbucks and Best Buy got early on in their game too. So about 2 years, I think, into the company, they won that award, big stamp of approval in my book, no doubt about that. And so that meant a lot to me that they, by the way, they were nominated by Wells Fargo Bank. So these are solid players, reputable, right? And then I wanted systems already developed. Again, I'm not reinventing the wheel. So all the systems plus some were all in place for me already. So I could just hit the ground running, and they're good systems, by the way, very good systems. I wouldn't change a thing if I could. Then I wanted something most consumers wanted or needed, and they already knew it, right? And the majority of consumers want or need what we have, no doubt about it. And I'm going to show you why in just a minute. They already know they have a problem. So it makes it a lot easier to identify that need and fill it, right, when they already know they have a problem. I, again, wanted no office. I didn't want any overhead. I didn't want to ever have to do that. I like my life the way it is. And this is definitely a laptop lifestyle. It doesn't mean you got to, live in a dungeon. You can get out there and network and do your thing. But if you don't want to, if you really truly want to work from home, from the beach or whatever, you really can with this business, where a lot of businesses you look at, they say work from home, but you're really not. You got to get out and do all kinds of stuff to deliver or whatever, right? And I didn't want to do that. I wanted the made in the USA, and this product company program has been developed, and the customer service is in the USA. It's sold in the USA. Everything's USA at this point. Means a lot to me. Meaningful, good purpose. Again, it's compassion-driven goals by the founders of our company. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in just a minute. Sound financial compensation plan. Listen, there's multiple ways I can get paid. Similar to the insurance business, it's structured that way. So all kinds of things for, goals for me to want to achieve. That's just the way I roll. And I know exactly what they are, and I know exactly how to achieve them. And I really wanted that, a professional environment that way. And then the opportunity to duplicate. Again, you don't have to duplicate, but I'm one that wanted to duplicate. So I have incentives to duplicate my business beyond my own efforts. Look at that. You put out a wish list. So I really would recommend that you do this, that you look at if you're going to align yourself with a company, then you need to have an idea of what kind of company you want to align with. This was more than I ever could have come up with on my own. So I would suggest you do that if you're looking. But once you have your own wish list together, or once you identify, if you will, that company that you're going to feel good working with, aligning with, there's just two keys to assure your success after that. See, they've already got everything covered. Everything's there. The product, the reputation, the systems, everything's already there, right? So all we have to do is find the need and fill it, right? Or identify the problems and offer the solution. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the solution in a minute. And then you need passion that drives that train. And for me, it's not just money that motivates me, right? I really wanted to feel good. I really wanted to do a good thing. I really wanted to make a difference. And so, you need that passion that drives the train. So what is that find a need and fill it thing? Again, we get confused with, maybe you get introduced to something or a product or service and you like it. It feels good, but it's not necessarily need. And so what does it mean to find that need and fill it? Well, let me tell you something. If you asked 100 people today what they wish they had more of, 99% of them would have the same response. They'd say more money. Now, before you get offended by that, thinking, why didn't they say more love or more kids or whatever, right? It's more money. Well, it's not that they're necessarily money hungry fools. It's not necessarily that they need more money coming in. What they need is less debt being paid out. And most people have that same problem and don't know how to get out of it. See, we've created a monster in this country, just leveraging debt. And I know that from real estate firsthand, right? And so most people will answer, I need more money. But it's really not more money they need. They need less debt. See, the problem in America today is massive. Mortgage debt, the last time, these stats are a little bit old now because I tell you, 2020, I know changed them. But the mortgage debt in America, $16.3 trillion in mortgage debt. And the market is going crazy. And frankly, a lot of people can't really explain it. Low interest rates is one thing, but it's gone a little crazy. Credit card debt in America today is 1.1 trillion. I'm sure that's higher because people are floating on credit right now. Student loan debt, $1.7 trillion. 70% of graduates have student loan debt. How sad is that? And the average student loan debt is almost $47,000. So how sad is that our young people are coming right out of school riddled with debt? And that student loan debt is amazing because $260 billion of student loan debt out there today is being held by or paid for by people over the age of 50. It will follow you to a nursing home. And we don't know how to get rid of it on our own. So there's a problem, a big problem. And, if you talk to people about the problem, they're going to admit they have a problem. So it was just what I had wished for, right? Something where the consumers already knew they had some sort of need. They needed a solution, but they just didn't know what the solution was until now. So again, the problem is the average American has less than $1,000 in savings. That's it. They're relying on credit cards for an emergency fund. There's no mattress money. There's no savings. The average person has $1,000. Then, you know, they go to work, they get a check, pay the bills, and they've learned to be content with just that. You know, as long as I can manage that debt I'm in, then I need to learn to be content. There's more to life than that, folks, and there's an option to change that. You know, they don't know how to get out of debt without a windfall. We quit teaching people about money. All we've taught them is, you know, get the credit score and get the loan. We've quit teaching. So people think, you know, to get out of debt, I need a windfall, I need to win the lottery, or I need to get a job paying twice what I earn. They don't understand that there is a better way. They can't build wealth at all. In this country, boy, for the most part, that stopped. They can't build wealth because they have too much debt. So the debt thing is the problem that, or, you know, that the need that we're trying to fill. And that's where we come in with that award-winning solution. We're going to help with that need because we have the solution. I don't know if you've looked at the, you know, national debt, and most people wouldn't, but I'll tell you one thing, you look at this debt and it's actually a live clock. I don't have the live feed on, but if you look at the U.S. national debt at $27 trillion, you know, we're in here somewhere. No matter what you got going on in your life, a car loan, a mortgage, you know, student loans or credit card, you're reflected on the screen. I personally love America, and I want what's best for America. And I know that, you know, with Americans, it's good to have us spending, but it's not good for us to be in debt. So we all play a part in this, and we can all be a solution in this. So what is that solution? Well, for us, the company that I talked about, you know, that meets all my needs is United Financial Freedom. The product that we're talking about is called the Money Max account. Now, to keep it in simple terms, I could keep you here for a couple of weeks. I'm not going to do it, right? But in simple terms, what we offer is what we call a financial GPS. So if you think about it in terms of like in your car, you know, you put your information in the car, where do you want to go kind of thing, and it will navigate you to the quickest way to that destination, avoiding all mishaps, you know, construction and speed traps and whatever. You know, well, imagine having a financial GPS that could guide you to the quickest way to zero. It's not refinancing, it's not doing anything weird like that. But, you know, there's a way that banking is done and interest is managed. And when we can crack that code and figure out a better way, we can address debt very quickly. So this is like having a financial advisor sitting on your shoulder all the days of your life. It works for all kinds of debt. So we have some people that only have student loan debt and maybe credit card. They'd love to buy a house, but they have to get rid of some of that stuff. We have people with multiple mortgages, investors with portfolios. It'll take care of all kinds of debt, being able to help us, you know, find a way to the quickest way to zero that we simply don't have before. So you talk about a solution, that's a solution. Who's our market? Basically everybody in America, or most people in America, you know, because we have managing all kinds of debt, from college debt, credit card debt, mortgage debt, you name it, car loans, it really doesn't matter. And so pretty much everybody in America, or most people, anybody with debt is our target market. So here we are. Once again, we've already identified the need, right? And the need is debt, to do something about that. Our solution is the Money Max account. Our market is just about everybody out there. So when we talk about massive opportunity, you can't even imagine how massive with these things in mind. Then what is our method? What is our marketing method? What do you do? What do I do? You know, really what I do is talk to people about a solution. You've got the need, I've got the solution. And then we do what we run a debt-free analysis. It sounds a lot more complicated than it is because we have algorithms doing the work, right? But we run a debt-free analysis so we can show people what's possible for them. We don't do selling. You don't have to sell people. And I'll show you why we don't have to do that. So it's good income for anybody, whatever you're looking for. If you like the idea of knowing what the need is, you already identified the need and now you're going to fill it. This is an amazing opportunity to look at. Well, you might be already saying, oh, it's too good to be true. One of those people, right, that might be part of the Wish I Had Club. And so I just want to tell you, give you a little background here. When I was still in the auction business, I was on the board for the National Association of Realtors. And this goes back a ways, okay? It's probably 20 years ago. But I remember we were seeing all these results coming in from Australia. And in Australia, 70% of homeowners took their properties to auction before they listed them. So they take them to auction. If they accepted the market, they sold it. Otherwise, they listed it. Kind of the reverse of what we were doing. And we were just amazed. So we called over some of the Australian auctioneers to the U.S. to say, hey, teach us. We thought they had more progressive sellers, and teach us what you're doing. And what it came down had nothing to do with progressive sellers or marketing. What it came down to is that they used what they called a one account. Now, my mind was not focused enough, to go into the details, but it was a paper system, and it was a way to be able to, eliminate as much interest as they could so that they could pay down their properties more quickly, so that they had a lot more equity faster, so they had options to sell. That's the bottom line. It was the one account, and it helped them be in a better equitable position. That's why they were going to auction first, because they had options, right? So when I heard about this, that it was doing conceptually the same thing, only on algorithms for every kind of debt, it made perfect sense to me. So don't go away from this call and say it sounds too good to be true, because systematically it's been used for decades, right? Now I'm showing you just a snapshot. I ran that debt-free analysis for one of my dear friends, when I was first embracing this program. And my friend is 71 years old, and her husband's 72 years old, and they racked up some debt. And she was mortified, thinking, we're going to die and leave our kids with this debt. She really was. And when I called her, to say I wanted to do the analysis, she said, nothing can help me. I need to win the lottery. That's the only thing that can help me. And so I said, well, let's just see what it will do. So if you look at the upper left-hand side of the screen, you'll see that the total debt they had, it was 208,000, almost 208.5, right? If you look here at this almost center screen, you'll see that what we were able to save is $112,000 in interest alone. But the more important thing that you need to look at right now is that upper right-hand corner, that my friend who was sitting there thinking, I'm going to die and leave my kids with all this debt. You see, they had only so much money, right? They had all the debt, what's coming in, what's going out. And with the system, with the Money Max account, they will be completely debt-free in 4 years. So January 2024, she'll turn 75 in January 2024, and they're planning a really super big party. So listen, this is offering people hope. I'll go on to tell you that my friend was a real estate broker, a top producing regional award-winning real estate broker for years, and had no clue how to get rid of the debt without having, a windfall or winning the lottery. That's what she thought she could do. So I'm able to give her hope. So do I feel good about that? Really good. A lot better than I feel just about getting somebody in a new home. I feel really, really good that she has hope, and she has a means of getting rid of what was a burden to her. And that's what we do to make a living. So this is kind of a report, if you will, pieces of a report for the debt-free analysis that we do. Is it too good to be true? Don't let yourself, when you can knock off the compound interest that we're all paying without questioning it, you'll be surprised at the quickest way to zero, right? So you just don't even know. So just imagine being able to help other people pay off all their debt, including their mortgage, and even including multiple mortgages, right? In as little as 1/2 to 1/3 of the time. What are they going to do? Well, first of all, they can fulfill dreams. I've had people say, oh my gosh, we're so excited. We wanted to cruise the world in 5 years, and now we can. Oh my gosh, we're so excited. We were worried about paying for college for our kids, and we'll be debt free in 8 years. We'll have plenty of time to pay the college. It's pretty exciting to see what they can do, what people can do when they understand that they really can get rid of the debt. Then they can build wealth or fulfill their dreams or whatever they want to do. So you know what? That's a lot more than just a solution. To me, that's a miracle. And that's what we do. It's so fulfilling to work and to do what we do to help people. There is no greater need in America today than for all of us to eliminate debt. We don't need to go into the what's and the whys, and it's certainly not a political statement. I'm just saying, we're out there hanging on a string, and people never expect life to happen, right? So many Americans sitting back now saying, where's my stimulus check? We're not counting on life to happen, but it does happen. People do get divorced. People do get sick and die. People, all kinds of things happen that change the dynamics financially in a household. So the sooner you get rid of debt, the better off you sleep, right? So there's no greater need for us to fill in America today than debt. And there's no greater solution than what we have. Nothing matches what we have. We have people talk about, I'm a Christian, and I have a lot of people talk about a program that's, been around for a long time, a debt elimination kind of thing, but it's all concept, conceptually. If you don't go out to eat, if you don't have a life, if you don't vacation, if you cancel Christmas, we're not talking about that. We're talking about a mathematical system. It's not magic. It's just math, and the algorithms will help us get there. So I hope you don't become part of the Wish I Had Club. I really do. I hope that you'll take the time to look even closer at what we have. Rick Warren said, don't waste your pain, use it to help others. Isn't that the way it works, right? We usually go through pain, and eventually, if we live long enough, we start helping other people based on the pain that we've endured. And that's really what's behind the founders of our company. I can't tell you how much respect I have for these two guys, Skylar Whitman and John Washenko. And the pain comes from their childhood. You see, they were childhood friends, and both their families' homes went to foreclosure, their family home. And Skylar talks about, remembering as just a little boy, the truck, repossession truck showing up and taking away their family vehicle. I can relate to that because you know what? I grew up like that, and that pain never goes away. And so that pain instilled in them what we see today. And you know what it took? They got into their 20s, and the real estate market was booming. So they opened a mortgage company, the two of them, right? They were, you can only imagine, people racked in so much money during that ridiculous real estate boom. But they started feeling guilty because you see, they had clients coming back that they had gotten mortgages for. They wanted to refi, so they cash out and go buy some more toys. And they started feeling really guilty because they've been through the pain of foreclosure. And they said, this is not good. People are using their homes as an ATM machine. And that's when the guys went, into other countries that were using that one account system that I talked about and said, wow, what if you could take that system and put it on steroids? And that's what they did to develop what we use today. So that pain led to what we see, and that pain is the heart behind what we do. And I'm very, very proud to be working with them. Our company motto is buying back America, one family at a time. And I really do feel like it's really cool for me because I feel like it's like being on a crusade with a massive paycheck, right? And so we are buying back America one family at a time, that freedom people used to have. I work with more and more people every day. It's exciting, but, for me, I don't have consumer debt. And I try to explain to them the freedom you have. Anything in life can happen. If you don't have debt, you don't have a whole lot to worry about. And if you don't have debt, you can build wealth. So we are on that mission to buy back America one family at a time. This company, this product, this opportunity is massive, and it met everything on my wish list. So I don't know what your wish list looks like, but I hope that, you won't be part of the Wish I Had Club. It's your choice. You can do that, or, you can get more information. I certainly haven't shared everything with you about how the program works, what the compensation is, or anything else. Right tonight, I just want to reach your heart. I want to share with you what I have found, how excited I am about what I found, and how I desperately want people to understand that if you snooze, you lose. This is one of those times when the needs are so great that if you have that solution, there's no really end to, what you could see, the wealth you could build, the people you could help, that we're on a compassionate crusade, but it is a lucrative opportunity. So we are buying back America one family at a time. I hope you guys will join us, and I hope you'll, get more information. It's been my pleasure to be with you tonight. God bless you. God bless America. And by the way, if you found your way here, you did get an invitation. So you can find on the invitation how you reach out for more information. Don't say no until you know what you're saying no to. Okay. God bless you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.